first, right? So I don't want her to ever guess with me. I will always be exclusively clear. So clearly I wanted her to follow me, and she was like, I think I know where we're going. I'm going to truck ahead of you. And I let her know, actually, I'm in charge. That's not how it's going to go. Okay, so now I need her to be thinking about me. There we go. So this second one is mine. Can you see how she's moving to the trailer? Ears forward. I'm going to that trailer. That's a confident feeling, right? When I picked her up this morning, she was like, holy crap, what's happening in my life? I was having a chill time with my herd mates, and now all of a sudden I'm getting on some strange trailer. She didn't really want to get on. She did, but I had to have a bigger discussion with her than I like to have. So now I'm hoping that we can change that dialogue and make this a little bit more inviting for her. Now, I'm going to say a couple things. One of the most important things is, if Zeus says, I really feel like my safety is out of the trailer, I need to get out, I say, you are correct. And I say, please get out. And I'm going to say it again. If my horse thinks that safety is out of the trailer, I will agree and I will let them out. How often do you see people say, you're almost in? Right? Or they say, my horse wants to get out, don't let him out. Right? There is a time when that matters, but that's not the discussion I want to have when I'm building trailer loading confidence. I need my horse to trust me. And if my horse says to me, I'm afraid, then I have to say, it feels like you're afraid. Let me help. Let me help put you in a place of safety, which is out of the trailer. When she trusts me, she will start to think maybe the trailer's not that bad. When she says, I feel unsafe about the trailer, and I say, I don't give a crap, get on anyway, she says, I don't trust you or the trailer, right? So it's my job to let her know that her feelings matter to me, and if she doesn't think the trailer is safe, I agree. The next thing I'll say is, I will reward her with retreat from the trailer. So when she gives me effort and try, I reward her by backing her away from the trailer. So I'm asking her right now to step to the trailer. She's a little hesitant. I'm just basically moving some molecules in the air around. That's really all I'm doing. And she stepped forward. She smelled it. I appreciate that. I back her up. I need her to come back to the trailer. Good. I like that. She tried to self-soothe right there, which is very cool. Very nice. I'll back her up. You see a lot of stuff where people will, there we go. I think I was worried about that tarp.
Overachiever.
I know, overachiever. I see a lot of people, I lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens. Shoot, I'll blame it on the horse over there. Good. I'm just moving molecules in the air. I'm just exciting the air around us. I don't want her to come into me. I won't really tolerate that. Horses are really good at fishtailing at the trailer because we're asking them to move, and the back end is the engine. And when we ask them to move, the hips are going, the shoulders not. So they fishtail, right? So I make it really clear to my horse that if they're going to fishtail, then I'm going to add pressure. So they get better at standing straight facing the trailer. I try to always load a straight horse. I try to not load a crooked horse. I'm asking, very good. There she walked to me. That's not a good response. That's not a good response. That's not a good response. There, good. When she's straight, she gets peace. There you go. It's a lot of nice try, right? She's really trying. see a lot of trainers that take them out and circle them and make them sweaty, and I think damage their tendons and ligaments in these tiny little circles on rough terrain. And then the horse is supposed to think the trailer is a place where they don't have to work so hard. I don't really like that approach. I don't subscribe to that. Do I think it will work? Yeah, eventually. I think you also potentially just get a really tired horse who still doesn't load. This is all try. Never encourage a horse that is already trying. She's already trying, so I don't need to add pressure to that, right? When she looks away, I ask her to please look to the trailer. So I'm asking, like I did with Taria's horse, when she's looking outside of the trailer, I ask her to please let that thought go. I want the trailer to be the focus of her mind. All of this is try off the ask I gave her, I don't know, 60 or 90 seconds ago. She's trying. And as she gets to try, and I show her that when she's trying, I don't add pressure, she's free to try. Now she's not trying, and she stepped a little bit away, so now I'm putting an ask in play. She gave herself the release I might have given her. She's not straight. So this is usually kind of mind-blowing for people, but I want you to see it anyway. I want her hip towards me because she is not straight. So what I will do is shake up the molecules in the air, and when her hip comes closer to me, she gets release. Watch her learn. Just like that. So she stepped her hips toward me, I stopped. She will now learn that if I look at her hip, she should bring it towards. If I look at her hip and want it away, my body language will be a little bit different. Horses are masters. They are masters at knowing what you're saying with your body. So if I want her hip towards, I might have a little draw in myself. Can you see it? She knows. If I want her to send it away, I have a little bit of drive in myself. And I want her to know the difference. I want her to know that I speak horse. Right. And I can put her hip anywhere I want it from this spot. Also, if you think about the lead horse, and if you think about the other horses in the herd, who moves their feet more? The other horses. The lead horse moves their feet the least. So when you're trailer loading, try your best to plant your feet somewhere. The more you move your feet around, the more you signal to the horse that you're the submissive horse. And what horse wants to follow the submissive horse's plans? Nobody, none of them. So the more I say, I'm in my spot, you need to get in yours, the more they'll accept that and trust it. So I'm going to ask her again. I'm thinking about inside the trailer. I'm moving some molecules in the air. I like that try. She brought her hip towards me. I didn't like that. She saw me look at it. She felt my ask. She moved her hip away. I'm very grateful for that. My hand up is still an ask. So when she gives me what I want, I have to find neutral in my entire body. My entire body has to go soft for her to feel like she's arrived somewhere good. Awesome. She's investigating, so I shut up best I can. She found a single blade of grass, good for her. Good, all good stuff. Only safe and comfortable horses whose play drive has been met will eat. Safety, comfort, play, and food. Right? She's probably not that playful of a horse. Why? Because she's an older mare. That's usually not the most playful of in the horse world. So she's safe and she's comfortable. She continues to try to self-soothe. I love it. I'm happy to see it. Good. Every time she tries to look away from the trailer, I try to ask her back. Good. I'm asking her in. talking while I do this, so if I were just doing it on my own, I would go faster, but I want it to go slow enough for you to see all the little pieces that matter. There she's offering me her foot onto the trailer, right? Where before she would come forward and smell it, that time she actually offered me a foot. I have to recognize that progress. Otherwise, I get frustrated. And when I get frustrated, I do things that don't work, right? Because I'm a human. So I have to recognize in that moment, she did something in the vein of our plan, and I have to recognize it and give her credit for it. Good. She's finding lots to eat. To me, less about confidence, more just about enjoying some food. I'd like her hip a little closer to me because she's not straight like I want. I'm talking to that hip. I'm moving some molecules in the air. Perfect. She went a little too far. She's an overachiever. Now I'm driving the hip away. Good. Awesome. Not necessarily try. Smelling is one thing, that's try. Eating isn't. Now she's stretching in it so far, I'm going to say, wow, you really achieved something. You should retreat from that. She was in there going, I want to reach this thing. And I said, no, you can't do that right now. So now I'm making the trailer something she's really enticed by. And I'm saying, what do you want more than anything? The thing you can't have, right? So I'm saying in that moment, you can't have it, sorry, so that she wants it even more the next time. I do want her hip a little closer. She swung herself out a little bit. I hold her nose where I'd like it to be, and I just move some molecules. Perfect. She's an overachiever. If I ask her for something, she gives me quite a lot of it. I like that, it's nice, right? Over time, she and I will get better at recognizing how much I'm asking for. She'll get better at reading my body language and knowing, I bet you one step will be enough for Tia. She'll figure that out. I'm asking her to step up. Good. I got that foot more readily. There. There. She might make it all the way even. She decides it's time to get out, I'm on board and I help. I say, you're right, you should definitely leave. So she's bringing her shoulder. Good job. How many of you in that moment are going, just put her in? Send her in. Good. Recognize that feeling in yourself. Because I promise you that is not in the vein of the relationship with this horse or confidence building. But so many people, she's almost there. Right? So many people. In that moment, she's trying something. Never encourage a horse that is already trying. I would take that moment and ruin it by adding pressure to it. Right? I see a couple here like, oh my God, that's what I do. Right? It's okay. When you know better, you do better. I'd like the hip a little closer to me again. That was better. She didn't, well, she's still going. I was thinking she was going to stop. I want to make a statement that I think looking at it has the guide if anybody is sending that hip away. Sending it. Right. She's still figuring out the difference. I'm asking. I don't want that. I'm not going to be happy with that. That's a pattern she has from not loading. She's fishtailing, right? She's learned to fishtail. Move my hip back and forth instead of going in. And I'm just going to try and eliminate that from her vocabulary. She's back to eating. I'll rock her back. And I'll ask her in. Good girl. Now this is a horse that hasn't been able to go to the show in years. So of all the horses here, she's the most troubled, which is why I'm starting with her. She loves to eat, thank goodness. She's not trembling, she's just not weighting his foot, so I just want you to know that. It's like the ligament's not locked in place, so she's a little precarious. Good girl, good girl. Good, okay. Bring your hip towards me, please. I really want horses whose life goes up when I ask, and when my life comes down, they come down with me. So when I ask for that hip over, I get sort of energy in myself, and then when the hip is where I want it, I relax myself. So I'm trying to teach her, come up with your energy with me and go down with your energy with me, so that she gets better at knowing how much to step her hip over when I ask. I'm going to stand inside. Good. I don't want her hip over here. Good. Now, as I go, if she gets to where she's getting stuck in her effort, I'll start to make it more challenging for her. I'll do things faster. So I'll say, get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. Don't move your hip over here. I don't want that. I find this straightness to be one of the most important parts. Don't move your hip over here. There. Because if she's using that fishtailing, she's just finding ways to not load. There. To me, that effort wasn't awesome. That's better. That's a better effort there. It's very typical for horses to have the hardest time with the back feet. So it's very typical for them to be more comfortable getting their front feet on, their back feet on. It's also very typical for them to struggle to back out of the trailer. They don't really have the same connection with their hind feet that they have with their front. They don't necessarily know about where their hind feet are like they do with their front feet. So if she says, getting my hind feet on is the hardest part, I recognize that and I appreciate that, and I'll help her slowly get some confidence about it. Back her up, send her on. So now I'm going to start moving faster. I don't want this over here. Good. 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 I'll rock her back and ask her on. I'll rock her back. Because those tries to me aren't good tries. So I'm going to start getting more specific with what I think is worthy. I'm going to rock her back. Send her back on. she's giving me a foot on the trailer, but she's not actually thinking about eating it. So I'm just not going to be happy about that. I'll accept the try, but I'm not going to give her much time to feel solace in that try. This is brace. Good. I want to talk about what I just did there because I think that's really important. In that moment, she's bracing against me. And so what I did was I just held. So many people want to engage their biceps in that moment. In that moment, if you engage your biceps, now it's this. And your horse is stronger than you are. And you don't want them to know that. So when she says, I'm just not going with you, I say, good, let's just stand here together. How does this feel for you? I'm not engaging, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And to me, that is a big difference. People have pulled this mare a lot, right? And so she's good at leaning against that pressure. So I'm saying, I'm a wall, I'm a fence post right now, right? I'll wait for you. And when she releases, so do I. Good. Her threshold's way the heck back here. She's got to go with me willingly. If she doesn't, I got to fix it.
And you're just holding, you're not pulling.
I'm not pulling. I'm basically, in that moment, I cement some imaginary fence post into the ground and I just wait. Good. Brace is really easy to put in. It's tough to take out. So I'm trying to help this mare for her future. That brace isn't such an easy thing for her to have. This stick just gives me an extension of my arm, so I can be a little bit more effective in my ask. Good. There, I like that. Reward it. Ask again. I like that. Reward it. Ask again. I want you to notice that I notice things like, did she follow me or did she drift away? So when I asked there a moment ago, she put some slack in the rope by drifting to the side, not by following it forward. Got a lot of habits that work against the human girl. That was over. Could you see it? It had a forward component to it, but it was an over response. Step in the view. Good. There you go. Good girl. So I feel like while I'm working on the trailer loading, what I'm really working on is our dialogue together. Her response to my ask is the most important thing. The trailer is sort of an avenue for me to work on that. The trailer is the obstacle, but what Zoo and I need is the ability to have a plan together. Does that make sense? Good. There's the ask. Yeah. Good. She's back to eating, so I'll rock her back and ask her in. This is something she's practiced. The humans are happy if I put my foot on the trailer and bang it around. The humans will shut up in that moment sometimes. So she really thinks that that's a win, and I need to get that out of there. It's not. She's not thinking it. She's just thinking, if I put my foot here, will the humans shut up? So I'm going to start telling her I don't accept it. That's better. Could you see the difference in her effort there? Yes. Now, this part of trailer loading is where people usually just run out of patience. And I know too much to do that. But once she steps in, it's over. In this method, once she steps in, she's changed forever. And so often people tell me, Tia, you helped me with my horse one time. I never had a problem ever again. It's because we're fixing the problem. The problem is the relationship she has with me at the trailer. Does she have worries about the trailer? Yeah, but they're human-made. I don't accept that. Try again. I don't like her looking out. That means her thoughts are out there. So when her thoughts are out there, I ask her to please bring them in. I can almost reach the food. I'll rock her back. I'm not getting try anymore. All the way out. You have to get all the way out. Good. And now step back in. Good. She thought about getting out, and I say, yeah, absolutely. Great idea, Zoo. Get out. After a while, she'll start to feel like, oh, Tia, just let me in already. Get up. Good. Nope. She's doing that thing where she's fishtailing a little. I'm going to ask for that hip to come back. There it is. Good job. Step in.
Oh my gosh.
Now, before she says, I gotta get out of here, I'm gonna say, you gotta get out of here. This isn't safe for you. So now, before she can even have the thought, I have the thought for her. So she gets a little more trust in me. Oh my gosh, there's more food. Happy days are here again. I'm gonna ask her out. All the way, babe. There you go. And now please step back in. Not over there. In here. Now she comes in, she goes straight to eating. straight to eating. Only a calm and comfortable and safe horse will eat. I'm looking for a slightly more impressive shift in her demeanor and in her thoughts, so I'm hanging here and loading her until I see it. Good. Ask her out. Good job. Ask her in. Shake the molecules in the air. Good girl. So I'm looking for a positive response to my pressure. I want the initial response to be positive. So I'm talking about this ask right here. Right now I have brace initially. I can shake the brace up, but it's still brace. So that's what I care about. Because when I get that, she's really changed her brain. There's a nice sound. When I get that, she's really changed her brain. I don't have it yet. She still has hesitancy. She's doing this out of obedience and not pure confidence and pure trust. So I'm going to unload and load until I have that. I want her to feel like, just let me stand in the trailer. I'm tired of getting in and out, right? And in that moment, she's changed. There's brace. Can you guys all see that? I shake it up just a little. Good. Ask her out. Good. Brain thoughts in the trailer, please. Asking her in. I got brace. Shake it up a little. Good. Oh, look, we're reverting. Good. Ask again. Back her up. Ask her again. This one is extreme. Like, I'm so glad that she's here because I don't think we're gonna have any extreme ones like this besides her today. Rock back. Bring your hip over. Bring your hip over. Oh, good. Nice job. Step up. Step back. If she says I can only put my front feet on, I say I accept that. I hear you and I accept it. Good. Try again. I don't know if you can tell from there, from where you're sitting, she is not worried in here now. When I loaded her to get her here today, she was trembling. I got her in the trailer, and I was also thinking, you gotta go, we gotta go. We have a time limit, right? We have to go. So I'm putting a lot more pressure on her in that moment than I am now. Here, I'm trying to do something therapeutic for her, where this morning it was like, hey, the fire is coming and we have to evacuate. Good, I'm gonna ask her back. So now what I'm doing is I'm trying to break up this brace. That initial response to pressure, I've got to fix it because it's pretty deep. It's a pretty deep feeling in her that if I ask her to go forward, she should lean against me and not follow me. So I want you to watch how I try to soften her response to pressure.
How long are you giving her to follow the feel?
That's such a good question. I don't know. So really, it's a gut feeling.
It depends.
It depends.
The classic answer.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking at how she's responding.
Yeah.
Okay,
There.
that was the very
Yeah.
first time I asked for forward towards a trailer, and she just went. So I'm gonna give her back to Marley. She needs to soak on that. Because that's what matters, folks. She gets in the trailer and she goes straight to eating. She's not worried about the trailer. She's worried about how people behave with her at the trailer.